During ancient times in China, there existed a grand Buddhist temple. The temple had a set schedule for the monks and people to gather and engage in group meditation. Every day at 4 o'clock in the morning, they would assemble at the central courtyard and mark the time with the ringing of a large bell. Among the monks, there was one named Kaito. Every day, Kaito would diligently wake up before dawn and light a lantern to guide his way along the stone path. He did this to find and relocate snails that were creeping along the path, ensuring they were safely removed from harm's way. This was done to prevent accidentally stepping on them when the bell rang. Many people walked to the central courtyard to meditate, and Kaito would carry out this task daily without fail. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, and this caught the attention of other observant monks. One day, some monks gathered and questioned Kaito about his daily routine. Kaito replied, "I live each day to uphold goodness and accumulate merits continuously. Apart from practicing meditation like everyone else, I also perform this act of compassion." Another monk countered, "Do you realize that your actions are akin to creating a dependency? By safeguarding the snails, you are indirectly enabling them to thrive and spread beyond the temple. The authorities have already ordered the eradication of these disease-carrying creatures. However, because of your actions, they persist only within this temple. The people within and beyond this vicinity are affected by your deeds." Yet another monk voiced an opposing view. "It's not as simple as that. Your actions do not intend harm upon others. Instead, you are fulfilling the duty of a bodhisattva by releasing 8,400 beings and providing safety. By doing so, you are safeguarding the welfare of this community. We were able to purify ourselves and did not have to kill animals." When agreement couldn't be reached, they decided to seek the guidance of Elder Kanata, the chief abbot. He listened to each monk's explanation and viewpoint attentively, showing great patience. Once all had spoken, Kanata turned to Kaito, signaling that he could express his thoughts. Kaito explained, "I've lived a long life and devoted myself to studying and practicing Buddhism. My purpose is to cultivate goodness, even if it's just a small amount. By persistently performing virtuous actions day and night, they accumulate like droplets of water, eventually forming a pond. How can such an accumulation of virtues lead to sin, Venerable Abbot?" After hearing Kaito's explanation, Elder Kanata nodded in approval, saying, "Correct indeed." The second monk took his turn to speak. "If intentions matter, then stepping on the snails while walking to meditation is not intentionally killing them. Without intention, there is no karma. The result reflects the safety of the majority. This temple doesn't house the last of these snails, which destroy crops and spread diseases. Your actions align with the government's declaration to eliminate these pests. The people within this temple can live free of disease, contributing to the community's well-being. Is this not so, Venerable Abbot?" Again, Elder Kanata responded with approval. "Correct indeed." The third monk shared, "By performing virtuous acts that ensure the safety of the majority, even if a single individual sacrifices, it opens the opportunity for each person to carry out their own path and actions without hindrance. This applies even to the beings that reside in humbler forms of existence. Their natural propensity for enlightenment is not diminished in the least. With a single flick of wisdom, any amount of actions, no matter how numerous or negligible, will ultimately be dissolved. Only the heinous acts of malevolent criminals persist, still capable of casting a shadow on their virtues. Such views are accurate, Wouldn't you agree, Venerable Abbot? Once again, Elder Kanata expressed agreement. Correct, correct, indeed. Amidst this discourse, a young novice sat behind the elder monk, attentively listening to the discussions. Unable to hold his curiosity any longer, he spoke up. Venerable Elder, it's all well and good to chant correct, correct indeed, but how can everything be correct? If one thing is right, another must be wrong. Isn't that the case, Venerable Abbot? Elder Kanata, upon hearing this, smiled and responded, "Ah, well said indeed. Correct indeed." And so, the tale concludes. This story will teach us that when we look at something, we can see it from multiple perspectives, depending on who is looking at it. Each perspective has its own valid reasoning, which may not be correct when viewed from someone else's standpoint. Kaito has his reasons for doing good, while the second monk bases his reasoning on laws and economics, and the third monk's perspective centers on giving to alleviate suffering. The novice, on the other hand, considers differences in his reasoning. Each side believes that their reasoning is correct, while others are wrong, leading to endless disagreements. Only Kanata understands, but doesn't know how to teach his disciples to understand, because each disciple firmly holds onto their own opinions and doesn't listen to others or let go of their own opinions. This is similar to the present time when there are disagreements in various matters, with different sides each having their own reasoning and using it to oppose or destroy the opinions of the opposite side, leading to conflicts. If different sides come to understand and are willing to listen to the opinions of the opposing side, conflicts and disagreements would not occur, and our society would be better off. Children have reasoning like children, and adults have reasoning like adults. If we bring our reasoning into constant conflict, we will never stop arguing.
Thank you for watching. May you have peace and prosperity, and may all your wishes come true.